Okay. Hello and welcome everybody to Content Creators Club. Pardon me. I hope you all had a great Easter. There we go. And a great long weekend and hopefully got some time outside because it wasn't, well, I hope it was better than it was here because we got more snow. So spring is coming very slowly this year in Alberta. All of my fellow Albertans totally get it. All right, so this is Content Creators Club. If you've ever been to Content Creators Club or never been to Content Creators Club, this is where we go over and show you some of the content that we have for you, how you can use it, and then also give you some ideas for your YouTube if you have one, or a blog, or even just content, social content in general. Today we're going to be doing a little walkthrough with Instagram. What I'm going to do is just a basic post. Is that kind of what you were looking for, Brenda? I know we've done a few.
Yes, it was. But before we do that, could I ask you a question? Not
Mhm.
about that, but um, I'm just curious to do you people who do show the business? It's been forever since I've shown the business. And in the back, in on Shackley's website or my website, everybody's website, when you go on that first page and you scroll down, it will have like join as a member or join as an ambassador. So I put join as an ambassador, and in there it does a great job, I think, of explaining or showing the business part up into what you could earn each month or even the months after, but it doesn't go into detail on getting directors, that kind of thing. That would be too much, I think, to throw at someone at one time anyway. So I just wondered, is that the thing? Do you use that? And or do you is there a different, better way or what?
Um, is this
What's
like
your
the
thought?
first time someone would ever see the opportunity?
Yes.
Brand
And
new?
yes. Hmm.
Okay. What I would do is walk them through your Explore Opportunity tour.
Okay. And all right. The
Okay.
explore opportunity.
Yeah, start there with them because it opens them up a little bit to the idea of the home-based business before going into the Shackley specific version. Um, so I find when people watch that, because we talk about like why, or what are the big challenges? Why do you want to look at an online business? Why the health and wellness market? That type of thing. It opens them up a little bit more, and then start going into, well, here's a company that fits all of that, and then you can get into more of the details of the income, that type of thing. Um, and
Okay.
I totally agree. I think getting into the director conversation at the beginning might be a little too much if you focus mostly on the 30 for 30 and the star bonuses.
Yes.
Those would
And
probably
then
be, and then once they start getting a feel for things, they're earning a little bit, then you can start having that director conversation and showing them more of the weeds of that because it can get a little, there's a lot in there.
there is, yes. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the info. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. And congratulations. We hope it goes well. I think it
Well,
will.
and she's 18 years old, the person that I'm, yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, and she's just been, everything she's like, we've set up appointments. She's been here and seen the product and used some of the the live shake. And she wants to, she was supposed to come today, but rescheduled for the youth product. So she's, seems very interested and motivated. So we'll see. I'm thinking, well, but I want some young people.
Mhm.
So she's one of the youngest. So
Yes.
hopefully, yeah, that'll work. Hopefully it'll work. Mhm.
And that's really cool too. Just before we jump into the content piece, what Brenda was saying about the younger people, a lot of the younger people, like like much younger than me, the 18, 19, 20-year olds, not like you still get some of the ones that are in the 25 to 35 range, but I find the really young ones are um, a little more open to the idea of starting something like this from the get-go. There's not as much skepticism about it, I think, because it's been around a while and
Yeah.
they've, they obviously know people who've done it. Maybe their parents, right, been around it. So
Well, yeah,
they
she
understand. So
actually,
yeah.
excuse me, but I met her at the gym and we just started talking and I found out she worked at she called it the nutrition store
Hmm.
in this town in Canton where I live. And I said, "Oh, yeah, really?" She said, "Yeah, we have shakes." She said, "You might want to come in and try some of our shakes." And I said, "Well, I would, but I have my own home-based business. It's a nutrition business, and we have shakes, so I don't suppose I will." So she was very interested, wanted to know what I did, and so it went from there. And she came over.
Very
So
cool.
that was it.
That's
So she
very
was
cool.
open, yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's really exciting to hear. So there's a lot of hope in the younger
Yes.
crew of today, which is very exciting. So awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Brenda, and
Okay.
congratulations. And since we didn't have
Thank
Marketing
you.
Monday, that was a great win for this week.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So let's jump into the content we have. Um, so last week, Jody and I messaged a couple times. We were wondering, we're working on blending in the collagen conversation with our green cleaning conversation. So that should start, you should start noticing some of that content this week. And then in May, we haven't finalized this yet, but we both had the same idea. Is we'll go harder on the collagen in May for Mother's Day and kind of that theme with like hormone health, antioxidants, and it'll all weave in together with the collagen talk. So just note that yes, we are jumping on that. Okay, but for this week, we're still focusing on a lot of the green cleaning as we do have our green home event coming up. So we're talking about what you really come in contact with every day. Is that the right one? Hold on a second. Let me get my OneNote open. Yep. Okay, we're good. So yes, what you're come in contact with every day. So we're talking about like countertops, floors, how our bodies are constantly interacting with our environment, especially young, kids who are crawl on the floor or older kids who crawl on the floor. I've seen my kids on the floor many times when they're not toddlers. Ourselves walking barefoot if you have critters that are eating treats off the floors, that type of thing, and just becoming aware of how often you touch something right after you clean it and being aware of the products that you're using and how is that affecting your body. That's kind of the idea about it. We're also starting to talk about the the misleading scent debacle, right? Where everyone's like, "Oh, if it doesn't smell like lemon fresh, it's not clean." I'm like, it's probably a lot cleaner than you think. Go ahead, Gloria.
There's a great story about this, and I think I've forgotten which book it is, but it's one that is about things that don't work out the way you think they're going to.
Hmm.
The guy who invented Febreze, which a lot of people like to spray around their homes, was that he was trying to find something that took odors away. And he accidentally found it, and it eliminated odors. And the one person who was really excited about it was the lady who worked with skunks because she had trouble with dating because she always smelled a little like skunk. So she was very excited. So he took it around and gave samples to homemakers, the ladies at home and all of that. And he went back a few months later and found that they'd all used it once and put it under the sink. And he wondered why. And it was because nobody wanted to admit that their place smelled bad, so
Hmm.
they didn't have any testimonials for him about eliminating odors. So that was one that backfired, but it's a wonderful story. But we've been trained to want
Hmm.
things to smell like something instead of nothing,
Hmm.
and clean doesn't have a smell.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the theme we're going with here. And I always find it hilarious, absolutely hilarious in commercials for for that product specifically, where they're spraying it in the most disgusting, disgusting room ever. I'm like, this should really prove the point that clean doesn't have a smell, or the way it smells doesn't necessarily mean it's clean. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the idea we're going with. So with this, if you have any stories that you've had of people or critters who've had exposure to stuff like this where maybe it has caused them issues, or even just when you were starting to switch. I know some of you didn't switch, you just started off with Shaklee products, which is amazing. But for those of you who did make the switch, how was that transition going from stuff that had very strong, powerful cleaning smells that when you sprayed it, you're like, yeah, that feel, it's got that smell, we're good, to going to something that doesn't have smell? How was that transition for you? What did you notice? One thing for me, if this helps you guys at all, is I notice now whenever someone does use a product like that, it's way stronger than I ever remembered it being. Especially Pine Sol. But we can't name products on our content, so we'll keep it here. But yeah, any little stories like that will help personalize this. And that's where we're heading up to. The handout again, the video is here. We did switch it from the first week. I know we had this one at the first week for the first day, and then we switched it to a different article. So we're back to this video talking about what makes a cleaner actually safe, talking about what to read on labels, that type of thing. And it's a nice short video, which is fantastic. And then, yeah, that's the main part. So I'm very excited about that personally. The other part of the conversation that you could get into, and I think I cover it in some of the content, is when there's a fragrance, that usually means that's another collection of chemicals put into one ingredient. So that's something else to think about when they're thinking of toxic load. It's like, yeah, you've got, the right amount here, but what's in this fragrance thing, and what's that concoction of ingredients that they're not telling us about? They're just placing it under a label or under one name. So that's something else to just bring people's attention to. One of the best posts was, hold on, taking a selfie of me plugging my nose in front of the cleaning chemicals in the store. Yes. That's so good. It's so true. I don't walk down that very often. When I do, it's like, let's get down this as fast as we can. All right. So that's the wellness script. And then for this week's social content, pardon me, again, going along this same idea, how often do you touch this? You think of two like surfaces you touch. We usually go straight to our face. So if you've cleaned something, let's say you clean something with bleach, or someone cleans something with bleach, they touch it with their hand, then they touch their face. Usually happens quite a bit. So we're talking about that. And of course, letting your home breathe. So going along that aspect of what is clean? How do you know if something's clean? Is it something that, like, do you need a heavy scent for it? Or do you understand that cleaning just feels lighter? It's a feeling, right? It doesn't feel, in my mom's words, scuzzy. So that's where we're headed down there. And then of course, in your retention group, I found some cool little graphics of how to mix Basic H. There is one where I do talk about like a whole recipe sheet. And if you go into the Shaklee tools, there is still the Basic H guide that you can hand out. I believe, if I go here and here, I believe it's in the tools and resources that I saw it. Been in here a lot lately. There we go, Green Home. Must be sharing screen. It's taking its time today. I think it's this one, the how to use Basic H. But there's some great graphics in here. There it is. The how to use Basic H sheet is still there. So for any of the posts where we've put, comment if you want how we mix it. This is the sheet that I had in mind. You guys might have some other things that you do with it. You can definitely share that. But yeah, if you're looking for that specific one, it's in the home or in the Shaklee tools. Scroll down to Green Home. It's a ways down there, and then it'll be under the all-purpose. But something else that's kind of neat in here, if this helps you all, is it does show you like little graphics of how much Basic H can replace. It gives, where is the other one?
Ooh,
How
nice.
to mix it, all that good stuff. Go ahead, Gloria.
Yeah. One thing that I learned, and it's important, and it may not, I don't know if it's in there or not because I haven't looked at that, but when you refill a bottle, you need to rinse it out completely, because if you leave what's in there and add to it, then sometimes your window cleaner won't work anymore because it'll be too strong. And I had one person who said, "Oh, I tried it on my truck and it smeared." So I asked that, her husband was telling me this. I said, "How did she mix it?" He said, "I don't know." He checked, and I told him that it needed to be 2 drops only and 16 ounces of water.
Mm-hmm.
After that, she was happy with it because she was doing it the right way. But my sister was like that too. She's like, "Oh, I just put water in the rest of the bottle." No.
Not quite. And how cool is it that we have a product that if you don't rinse out the bottle you previously used, you're now going to over dilute, or not over dilute, oversaturate. It's pretty fun. Okay, and then your personal profile posts, words are tough today, again, are going along the same vein. So it's all about the awareness, just helping people bring awareness to what are they cleaning with and how is it affecting them? How is it interacting with them? I mean, our homes are one place we spend the most amount of time, and if you work from home, it's even more than that. And it's just keeping our homes healthier than what you would get outside of the home. Okay, so I think those are the main things. So let's get into Instagram. And luckily, I do have a couple videos on my phone that I think we can go through. So we're just going to go through the basic posting process. We're not going to get into any of the bells and whistles. I think the only thing that I'll show you that's just handy is how to add captions so that it follows what you're saying and people can read it without having to listen if you're doing the type of video that's just face to camera. And share. So you can follow along with me if you want, but remember this is being recorded. So if you just want to watch and then come back with the recording to follow along, sometimes that's a little easier because then you can pause as you're catching up to the steps. And then we can record a nice clean video. And then what I'm going to do, because Facebook deletes our live videos after 30 days, is I will make sure that this gets downloaded and then re-uploaded once our 30 days is done. So we don't have to do it too many times unless there's updates. Okay, so first you're going to go into Instagram. This is the easiest way to start.
Manon might be my favorite.
Oops. There we go. What is that?
I can't be the only one who called her Manon.
Hold on. What is going on here? Giving us weird audio in the background. Let's try that again.
The one who called her Manon.
Hold on 1 second. Let's just close that right down. Phantom noises. Oh, and there's Robin and Courtney. Okay, full access. I'm on a new phone, so it's asking me all these new things. All right, so when you're posting, the easiest way to do this is do it in Instagram. Don't try to go to your camera roll and then upload into Instagram. Just go into Instagram. And then up in the top left-hand corner, there's a plus button. You're going to click that. This is if you're on your home page, which is where you should land every time. So you hit your plus button, and then you're going to go and find your video. So I'm going to take one of my gardening videos from last year. And at the bottom, I forgot this part, make sure that you post it as a reel. So usually when you hit the plus button, it's going to automatically want to put it as a post. But if you want it to be a reel, you just have to slide this little thing at the bottom till you hit reel. Okay. And then you're going to pick your video. Now my videos already have captions on them, so I'm just going to double caption them just so you know where the captions are. And hopefully I can make sure it's not going to talk to us too much. All right, so let's take this one here. So once you select your video, you're going to hit next, and you can put multiple videos as long as it's of a certain time. I think you can do up to 3 minutes now, which is kind of nice.
Could you do maybe, Kristen, could you do maybe 2 videos or 3 and then show us how you could put caption on the others?
Like
every one of them put a caption.
Like if all of these were going into one post?
In one reel.
Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
One reel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you were going to take, if I wanted to take pieces, it would have to be pieces, I think, with this one, but you would select the videos that you want and it'll put them in order when you get to the editor, that order. No, I don't want music. If you're someone who grows sun, and I need to zip that. Okay, once you're here, at the bottom left, you're going to go edit video. Yes, thank you. And then down at the bottom, this is what I call the scrubber. Okay, so the scrubber just, you can scrub along and this is where you would trim and work. So if you need to trim stuff off, like it'll automatically clip what you need together or clip the videos together. And then you might need to edit some pieces out. So let's say I need to like shorten a couple. If I was going to shorten this one, we'll just pretend that maybe my video doesn't start really until about there. So you have to tap on the scrubber to make sure that this yellow outline is around it. So if the yellow outline is around it, that means that's the piece that you're working with. The same thing, like if you had music or captions, they would have their own little bars underneath, and then you would tap on those to work with them. But yeah, just wherever the yellow is, that's what you're working with. And then at the bottom, I find the split is easier than just dragging it in, unless you're only dragging it in like 2 seconds. But if you're going to take out a whole bunch rather than just dragging it back, this will trim off the beginning, but it's a little bit of a longer place. It's easier to scroll to where you want to clip it. At the bottom, you get this split button, bottom left. So you'll click split, and now it breaks that into 2 pieces. You'll see when I tap on it, it changes who I'm working with. And then you tap on the one you want to delete, and you just click the delete button at the bottom. Okay, and just to see the delete, because I clicked it fast. It's at the bottom on the right-ish, right next to the volume. Okay, so you can clip that down. And then once you get it, so don't add your captions until you've done all of your edits. Otherwise, you'll have to redo your captions again. I learned this one the hard way. So whatever
Yes,
yeah.
I find that I put a caption on and then I go to my next video or picture, put a caption, and then, well, I had like maybe four together there, and it was just running the captions together. I was about to lose my mind, so I quit.
Were they like text? Were you putting text overlays or closed captions?
It was just like up the top, something that I was talking my information, but at the top was just like maybe 5 words or something that would pertain to what I was
Okay,
talking
that kind of
about.
like a title type thing.
Yeah, title.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're looking for something like that, that's where you'll have to click outside so that that yellow box disappears, and then you'll get the text option at the bottom left where it has the capital A and the lowercase a. You tap on that, and then this is where you can put your title. So your title, or if there's other words you want to put in there. Oh my goodness, title. Nope. We'll get there. Rhonda, you can see me struggling so hard right now. Good times. So this, and then you can move it wherever you want to go. Once you're done with it, though, at the bottom, you can make this take over more, like stay on the screen longer or shorter than what it gives you. So, or you can even move it down the line. Like if I grab this, you can just move it if you want to come in at a certain spot. And then you can also add extra, oh, get out of there. Then you can add extra captions or text pieces. So next text. I don't have anything clever to say today, so we'll do it this way. Then you could be done with that. And then this one could be at the beginning. I know your title should be first, but we're just going to pretend today. So as you're going along, it'll switch for you. Is that kind of what you were looking for, Brenda? Yeah.
Yes, it was, but I had trouble knowing what to do with this the little yellow whatever ruler, whatever the thing you're calling down there.
Oh, yeah.
Getting it positioned and where the text the title or whatever would go on that picture, not go on to another. And that's what I was having trouble with then.
Mm.
That maybe, okay, the second picture, whatever I had on it was going into the third picture.
Okay, that
So
sounds like
I
just a
was,
positioning thing.
yeah, I have trouble knowing where am I supposed to stop or start. I don't know. Do you, the, should your words be inside that little, the yellow
hmm
box?
hmm
And if it goes out, I see your line, whatever that line you called there.
The scrubber.
So is that supposed to be the ending of your
Yep. So however
yellow
long,
box
like,
for that?
yeah, that's supposed to be. So wherever the beginning of that, if I tap out of it, wherever the beginning of it is, that's where the text will start. And then this is where it'll come off the screen and then go into something else.
And
So
then
if
you
I,
hit
pardon?
done? And
Yeah,
then
and then once
how
you're
do you
done
get
with
it to,
it, once you've got it positioned where you want and everything's done, up in the top right-hand corner, there's that little blue arrow. Well, white arrow and a blue ball. You tap on that and then it should keep it there. And you can preview it too. You can't scrub forward, but you can preview it to make sure that everything is where you want it to be. And if it's not, you just hit the back button and then you come back into the editor. You might have to do a drag, like grab it and just drag it to where you need it to be. So wherever you stop it, whatever's above it, that's where it's going to sit. Or that's the picture that it will be on. So if it,
yeah,
yeah, it takes a little bit of tinkering. And if you do
yeah,
keep getting stuck, Brenda, let me know because we can always jump on and then I can see what you're doing.
okay, thanks.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's the main part. And then for captions, because I already have them in here, where are my captions? There we go. So you have to make sure that you're not clicked on anything. There's no yellow around anything, and then you'll get the captions, the CC at the bottom. And you should be able to just tap on that and it'll auto-generate your captions. I do recommend proofreading them before you post it because it doesn't always hear things perfectly. And we've had some pretty funnies with captions. But yeah, so definitely, read through it and make sure that, it's going over top of my other captions. Make sure that what you're saying is what's on the text. And if you need to edit anything, you just tap on it. And then you'll get an edit at the bottom. You click edit, and then you can go in and just backspace, put what you need to put in there, and you're set. Yeah. And then once you're
for next year.
This is me showing you guys how to use sunflowers. And then once you're happy with everything, top right-hand corner, you'll click that arrow. Okay, your video will be here. You can preview it if you choose to, and then you're going to add your caption or your video description. So this is like extra text that would make sense. If you're going to use hashtags, this is where you put them, anything like that. And then once you're happy with it, you go next again, and then share, and it'll post it for you. Did that kind of cover it, Brenda?
Yes, thank you. It did. I'll just
Okay.
have to play around, I guess, with that.
Yeah, and if you get, like
Getting
I
the
said, if you get
things in
stuck,
the
let me know.
yeah, in the right place. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
You're very welcome. And this is just for basic videos. Like this isn't getting into anything super fancy or technical. Let me stop screen share. There we go. Because you don't need to get super, super technical because there's stuff you can do with transitions and effects and all sorts of stuff. They're not super necessary. Don't feel like you have to jump in and learn all of them. A couple effects here and there are good, but if you know how to use captions, you can add text, you can add music, you're pretty good. You're pretty set for delivering some pretty decent reels. And yeah, that's pretty much it.